Commission is now in session. Please note the meeting is being audio recorded. My name is John Holman, Chair of the Commission, and I will be running tonight's meeting. We are your volunteer representatives appointed by our county councilperson or county executive and entrusted to monitor renovations and additions to our Baltimore County historic resources. We review and approve nominations to the Baltimore County Preliminary Landmarks List and comment on National Register nominations. Additionally, we are charged with evaluating submissions to the Baltimore County Historics Tax Credit Program that encourages the appropriate maintenance and renovation of designated historic properties. We have two new commissioners joining us tonight, and so I want to be sure to give them a chance to introduce themselves before the rest of the commissioners, before we go down that list. And I notice Chris Parts is on the meeting, and Chris, could you say where you work and who appointed you, and just introduce yourself to the rest of the commissioners?
Certainly. Chris Parts, I'm an architect with Hord Copeland Mock Architects, and I am an appointee from the county executive.
We're so glad to have you join us, Chris.
Thank you.
Welcome, my friend. And then Jamie Ferguson, did she end up getting on the meeting yet?
She is not on.
Okay. Well then, can you show the list and let the panel, the commissioners introduce themselves in order? I think Lily's not here this week. Chris Weston.
Chris Weston, District 2.
Wendy, are you muted?
Wendy's on.
Yeah. What, Wendy? Wendy, can you introduce yourself?
No, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm District 3.
Okay, thank you, Wendy. Is Celisa on today? I think so. Ray?
Ray Scott from District 7.
Phoebe?
Phoebe Evans Latosha, executive appointment.
Scott?
Scott Holupka, planning board representative.
Ed?
Ed Hord, vice chair and executive appointment.
And is Vince on tonight? Steve? No. And Marina?
Marina, you're muted.
No, I was not. Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Hear you now. Executive appointment.
And Jamie, I noticed that you're now have joined us, and welcome to the Landmarks Preservation Commission. If you could introduce yourself a little broader than the rest of the commissioners, but telling who you are, who appointed you, and maybe where you work. You're muted right now. There you go.
There you go, Jamie. Hi, sorry about that. Hi, I'll turn my video on if I can figure that out. Oh, there we go. Hi, everybody. My name is Jamie Ferguson. I live in Oella. I was appointed by the county executive at large, and I work for Montgomery County as the county historian through the Parks Department, and I'm very happy to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you. Did Oella flood last night? And the rains were supposed to be so terrible in that direction. Were you guys okay? But you got through it all right?
I did.
Good. Well, thank you, commissioners. Now please stand as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The Landmarks Preservation Commission operates under the authority, standards, and requirements of Title VII, Article 32 of the Baltimore County Code. We refer to the United States Secretary of the Interior's standards for rehabilitation as administered by the National Park Service. This is the accepted national standard for historic preservation projects. Our own Baltimore County Historic Preservation Design Guidelines directly reference and incorporate the Secretary of the Interior's standards for rehabilitation. We have important preservation issues to discuss and debate at each meeting. If you would like to make comments, please limit your comments to the specific application or proposal submission being reviewed. We ask for your assistance and understanding so that discussions do not digress. As an additional comment, we can all agree that historic preservation is an important aspect of the quality of life and place that makes Baltimore County unique. As a commission, we seek to recommend significant buildings and places for landmark consideration to the County Council for their final vote. As commissioners, we serve on the commission due to our expertise, interest, and passion for historic buildings and places and review submissions based solely on their merit. While we may disagree in discussion and voting, we continue to be a collegial body that respects each other personally and professionally. Thank you all for being here, and we do have some members of the public, and we are ready for any consideration of changes to today's agenda.
Oh, just a reminder for those who are in attendance in the public, but members of the public, if you would like to speak or have a comment for the commission on an agenda item, you can select the hand raise icon that is next to your name, and that'll alert me that you would like to speak, and I'll unmute you. Or you can also send a chat to the host with your comments or questions that way as well.
Thank you, Caitlin.
And another reminder that all the commissioners received meeting materials 1 week prior to the meeting for review and to prepare for the meeting. And the packet includes everything that is received by the applicant. And the information that's presented on the screen today is just more of a summary and overview of the cases being reviewed, purely as a visual aid to keep the meeting moving. Back to you, John.
Good. So any agenda changes that we should be aware of?
Yes, so there were 3 changes made to the preliminary agenda that was published on June 2nd. So the first one was agenda item number 4, Relay Town Hall, which just moved from the consent item to the main meeting agenda. And then the second one was agenda item 5, 1017 Windsor Road, was removed from the meeting agenda entirely. And then the last one was just reorganization of the agenda. So agenda number 6 is now agenda number 5. And all that information was shared to the commissioners, and the agenda was updated on the website.
Thank you. Thank you. And then any proposed changes to the minutes? And if not, motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
And then we can do this by voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. And then the consent agenda items, and what's Jessica, are you going to be talking about those?
We don't have any consent items.
Oh, that they were all pulled. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Only one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry. It's,
no worries.
Staff, and then you're going to read from the final summary for the regular agenda then. Thank you.
Yes. Hi, folks. So our first item for discussion is agenda item number 4, the Relay Town Hall, owned by the Relay Improvement Association of Baltimore County Property, Inc., located at 1710 Arlington Avenue in Relay, County Council District number 1. This is a contributing structure in the Relay County Historic District. The Relay Improvement Association of Baltimore County, Inc. wishes to replace all existing 37 windows on the first and second levels of the Relay Town Hall. The property received bond bill funding through the State of Maryland Capital Grants projects for the proposed work in January 2022. MHT reviewed the project as part of the state law for projects using state funding and potential negative impacts to historic properties. MHT determined that the project has no adverse effect on the historic property. The existing windows are 9/1, double hung, vinyl window replacements made 27 years ago and are starting to show signs of wear and tear. The new replacements consist of 37 Home Right Series 1600 6/1 double hung 34 inches by 69.25 inches white windows with exterior aluminum capping. 3 windows will contain obscured glass for increased privacy in the bathrooms, in the mechanical room, and additionally 3 windows in the stairway hall will contain fully tempered glass to address safety concerns and meet code. Although the vinyl replacement material isn't the most appropriate, our design guidelines state that existing vinyl windows can be replaced in kind with vinyls. The proposed style is the 6/1 style, which does not match the existing 9/1 windows. From a historic photo of the building, the original window style was 9/1. A 9/1 vinyl replacement will comply with in-kind replacements as noted in our design guidelines. So staff recommends to vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness with the condition that the replacement style match the existing 9/1 instead of the proposed 6/1 windows. Citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, Windows and Doors, pages 2 through 6, County Code Section 327405.
Thank you, Jessica. Any discussion among the commissioners?
I agree with staff's recommendations.
Would you like to go ahead and just put that in a motion?
I will move that we follow the staff's recommendations to do 9/1 replacement vinyl windows instead of the 6/1 that are proposed.
Good. Any second, please?
Second.
And another opportunity for discussion? Any further discussion on it? Or are we ready for a vote? Hearing no discussion, I think we probably have to do a roll call vote, Jessica, for this.
We have Chris Parts,
Yes.
Phoebe,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Chris Weston,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Wendy. Are you unmuted, Wendy?
You'll have
Go
to
ahead.
unmute me because my screen isn't.
You're unmuted. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Wendy. Marina,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
and John.
Yes. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, and Vince just joined.
Hey, Vince.
Yeah,
Glad to have you with us.
yeah, it's nice to be here.
So you're just in time for our next review. Jessica, are you gonna introduce that one as well?
Right. Next, we have agenda item number 5, the Diggs Johnson Museum, owned by the Friends of Historical Cherry Hill AUMP Inc., located at 2426 Offutt Road in Randallstown, County Council District number 4. This is a final landmark, number 389, Cherry Hill AUMP Church, Cemetery and Setting, MIP number 02399. The Friends of Historical Cherry Hill AUMP Inc. came before the Commission in May 2022 with a request to install a sign in the front yard of the museum property. The proposed sign will roughly align with the right corner of the east facade that faces Offutt Road and will be situated approximately 10.42 feet back from the road. The sign design consists of a single-sided, high-density urethane or HDU, custom painted and sandblasted sign framed by 2 phone stove pillars on either side. The pillars will be 5 feet high and 16 inches wide with an 18-inch cap. The total sign length will be 8 feet. The pillars will be secured approximately 3.5 feet below ground surface with 2 4 square feet steel post and concrete footers. The sign was approved with the condition that the pillars be a simple wood or steel post instead of the substantial faux stone pillars proposed, to be more in keeping with the simple vernacular style of the structure and to be more visually compatible. Staff cited the National Park Service's Preservation Brief number 25. At the meeting, there was no public testimony presented for this project. The Friends of Historical Cherry Hill AUMP Inc. have returned to the Commission and request that they reconsider the conditional approval granted at the May 12, 2022 meeting. and approve the sign as proposed. The Diggs Johnson Museum Signage Board Committee presented additional information regarding the reason for using the faux stone pillars in their application, which have been included in your meeting materials packet. They cited maintenance concerns for wood posts and felt that the faux stone was the optimal choice because of its durability and low maintenance needs. In addition, the committee felt that the stone would pay homage to the area's industrial and African American heritage. The building's foundation materials were sourced from a nearby granite quarry, excavated by local African American quarrymen in the late 19th century. Additionally, through emails with staff, the sign company provided more information about the faux stone material, which is customized per job and client. That information was included in the meeting materials shared with the commission. One of the photos shared is on the screen and shows the same material, but not the same stone finish, to give a general idea of the look. Staff appreciates the additional information submitted and thoughtful explanation behind the design, and asks that the commission discuss the proposal again and consider possible design options, such as reducing the width of the pillars, using a simple granite post, or using a faux stone that closely resembles granite. Staff's recommendation is to vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness as proposed, or to vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness with the conditions that the pillar width be reduced so that a simple granite wood or steel post be used instead of the substantial faux stone pillars. Citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, National Park Service Preservation Brief number 25, Preservation of Historic Signs, New Signs and Historic Buildings, County Code Section 327-405.
Thank you, Jessica. Is there anybody here to speak to that from the Diggs Johnson?
Yes, we have a couple call-in users, but I don't know who they're with, but we do have Carol Kirby, who I know is on the sign commission or the signage board, part of the museum, and Betty Stewart. So Betty, I'm going to unmute you. You're unmuted, so you can address the commission.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Stewart.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for re-looking at our sign again, because this sign is very, very important. And also, you know, the Speaker of the House, the Delegate Adrian Jones, is also on this. She's a member of the Diggs Johnson Museum. I just don't understand the wording when they keep referring to the museum as a park, as you know, as it being like the national parks, and it has nothing to do with the national park. Throughout Granite and Woodstock, the communities all have the same type of stones that we are asking for at the Diggs Johnson Museum. And the African Americans in that time worked in the quarries, and they used a lot of the stones from the quarries for a lot of their headstones for the foundation of the building. And there are other places throughout Baltimore County, just like my church, the Mount Gilboa, it's all stone, built in 1859. So I don't understand why we can't, as a museum, use, you know, the stones on the side of our, I just don't understand it. So someone is going to have to explain it to me as to why we need to have a simple sign when we just want to have something that's durable, that's going to last, and that's going to represent African-American life in Baltimore County.
Thank you. Let me address the first thing about the National Park Service where you mentioned there's no confusion about you being a national park. It's just that they issue guidelines that most historic groups follow. And so their research and understanding of the issues have benefited us all in how we approach historic properties. So we're not insinuating or trying to turn you into a national park. That being said, any of the commissioners like to make a comment or join the discussion?
Yeah, I would just like to say that I think the sign would be much more effective. Right now, as currently designed, the sign is parallel to the road, which means when you walk by or drive by, you don't see the sign, you're seeing the edge of the sign as you approach it. If you take your eyes off the road and look left as you are right in front of the sign, you can then see it. But if you turned it sideways, like the example that they show there, you see it coming from either direction. It would need to be a double-sided sign, but I think it would be more effective for the museum to have it perpendicular to the road rather than parallel to the road.
That's no problem with that. We have no problem with that.
And I have no problem with the stone signs. I think there's an adequate, there is the granite used in the foundations for the building, and which are visible, and I think it's okay. I have no problem with it.
So we have two options presented to us by our staff. We can vote to issue the certificate of appropriateness as proposed with the stone that they wish, or vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness with the condition that the pillar's width be reduced and that a simple granite, wood, or steel post be used instead of the substantial faux stone pillars. Any thoughts on which one commissioners would prefer?
I had a question, just of clarification, and that's I think that the statement is referring to faux stone. Are they using actual granite just as a veneer, or is it an artificial stone made to look like granite?
It's an artificial stone made to look like granite.
Okay. And is it possible just to get, because you can use granite veneer? I guess it's just a question if it's possible to use granite so that it would actually match the foundation of the building rather than an artificial stone made to look like the granite.
Well, I'm sure that our signage, the guy who's doing it, would do that. I mean, they would
Okay.
understand that one. So you're saying that it would be, is that the picture you're showing, the other one over on the side?
So at the bottom right, there's
Right.
a picture with the faux stone, and then if you look over to the left, I think that's
That's the one we first proposed.
yeah.
Yes, so I can just touch on that example that the sign company gave me. It's the same material as the one for this that they're going to use for this sign, but it's custom made for each one. So like it's a different type of like a stone
It would be a
mold or something that they're using, but it's the same material.
the faux granite would be more of a match, in other words.
Mm-hmm.
Is it kind of like a form stone?
See, I don't know those stones, but I mean the picture that I'm looking at, it looks nice to me.
If I could offer a word of advice, and that would be to have approve a sample of the stone before the sign is constructed, just to make sure that you like the stone that the sign maker is offering.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
So it sounds like we're drifting toward a potential proposal that might be to vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness with the contingency that they use a true granite veneer.
Okay.
Am I catching the sense of the meeting that someone would like to put into a motion?
I think that sounds good, and I would also like to state that it ought to be turned 90 degrees so it's visible as you drive by.
Okay, we can do that. We can that is something we can work with.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure we can make that a condition of it because I think that may be outside our.
Can that be a recommendation but not a condition? The orientation of the sign. I think we have purview over the materials.
Right. I think
right. I understand what you're saying, and it does make sense. Maybe we do to make it visible to the public. So that's fine.
Well,
do we have to send you anything back saying that that's what we're going to do when we do it? Do we have to send you, or do we just go ahead and do it when we have the sign installed?
So once we come up with a motion and approve a motion, then at that point, the staff will consult with you on how you follow through on that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Is somebody willing, one of the commissioners, prepared to put the motion in play?
Sure. I would move that we approve the sign as proposed, but with changing the veneer to a real granite veneer rather than a faux granite. And we would make a recommendation that the sign be turned 90 degrees so it's perpendicular to the street.
Thank you, Chris. A second for that?
Second.
Any last minute commissioner questions or issues that they want to bring up?
I have one. I'll be recusing on this vote.
Oh, right. I understand, Vincent. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for letting us know.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Because I'm not familiar with building materials that well. Is there a cost difference between a faux material and them having to use a real simple granite face on this project?
Yeah, there is a cost difference.
Yeah, and for veneer, it should be a really marginal cost difference for a thin stone like that.
Because I appreciate the applicant's attention to the pragmatic nature of building something that's going to be durable and last a long time.
And on a nonprofit budget.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, those are things we try to be sensitive to, Jamie, of course, but also consistent with the sense of what's appropriate. So,
right.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, may we do a roll call vote, Jessica?
Actually, John.
Oh, sure, Scott.
To sort of follow up on the Jamie's comment, because I sort of had the same. If it turns out when they talk to their sign guy that the cost of doing the granite veneer is much more than they have, can they come back to us and?
Oh, absolutely. Good point, Scott. Thank you for mentioning that. So as you, Ms. Stewart, as you pursue this with your sign guy, if the cost changes dramatically or some other factors come in, you are always welcome to come back to the commission.
Thank you guys so much. Y'all been very helpful. You've taken a load off of me.
So Jessica, now maybe for the roll call vote.
Great. We have Chris Parts, please.
Aye, in favor.
Phoebe.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Chris Weston.
Yes.
Ed.
Yes.
Wendy.
Yes.
Marina.
Yes.
Ray.
Yes.
Jamie.
Yes.
And John.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
So that concludes our business, right, Jessica and Caitlin?
Yes, I just have a few more things to tell you about. So we approved one emergency review application in Suburb Park for an in-kind asphalt roof replacement. They were having active leaking roof, and so staff approved that. And then just other business, just a code enforcement update on a property in Glendon, 322 Central Avenue, which, if you all can remember, it was the house that had an unauthorized window replacement where they removed the 2/2 wood windows and replaced them with vinyl. After they came to the commission, there wasn't any action, so a citation was issued and a code enforcement hearing with the administrative law judge was scheduled. They went before the ALJ, and the homeowners were able to appeal the LPC decision, which is the only avenue for appealing LPC decisions is through the ALJ for our new members. So the judge's final order were that the windows just on the front of the structure were to be replaced back or returned to wood windows 2/2 rather than the entire house. So staff is going to be in touch with the property owners to get specs on the windows that they're going to be choosing to put in their home. And they don't need to come back to the LPC for that. And once they select the windows and do the work, it'll be closed out. An inspector will make sure that they have done the work. I just wanted to give you an update on that. And other than that, that's it.
Thank you, Caitlin. Thanks for the updates. Anything else for the general good? Not hearing any. A motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
And all in favor, voice vote? Yeah.
Aye.
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 And Chris Parts and Jamie Ferguson, thank you for joining us, and be warned that this is an unusually short meeting.
Understand.
41 minutes.
Don't scare them off yet.
Yeah, the shortest meeting I've been a part of.
Yes, the meetings are longer, but they're very interesting. Interesting topics. So we look forward to that.
Great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all. See you next month.
Okay.